Let's take this other question. Using any three prescribed texts show that moral indecency is present in society. Moral indecency. The focus is on moral indecency, be it infidelity, adultery, promiscuity. All of these fall under moral indecency. In Twilight of Misty Foliage, Reverend Rod Berger is a typical example of a womanizer. BMI at the beginning says that he had once seen the Reverend come into a bar with a prostitute. He has fathered 4 carbon print children with 4 different women. In all the parishes that he has worked, the Reverend sisters are afraid to be in his presence for fear that they will be sexually harassed. He visits Edeka to find out about the impression that the people have about the church and concentrates on her buttocks and breasts. We are also told that his womanizing spirit had not started when he had become a clergyman. When he was young, he had impregnated a young girl and had bragged about abandoning her and nothing will happen to him because his father is a wealthy man. This had been one of the reasons why the bees had targeted him personally, stinking him to the point of death. Miraculously, he survives. Next, Conan is known as the professor of lechery. He has many concubines in the village. He does not give food money to his wife. His wife, as well as his other concubines, coincidentally refuse to give him food. His wife is very angry with him because of his adulterous life. And when he meets his family eating, not even the children or his wife asks him to join them for dinner, leaving him frustrated, unable to bear the hunger anymore. He wakes up at night and steals food from his wife's kitchen. Unfortunately, some of the soup is smeared on his face, leaving him in shame and giving him the nickname Professor Okra. Next, Wilmore entertains an extramarital relationship with a married woman, and her husband wants him to stay off his wife, but he does not listen to the man's warning. He even follows the woman to the farm. And when he is about to have intercourse with her, the husband sends bees to attack him. The attack is so brutal that it leaves him in a pitiable state. Next, Inspector Evie sleeps with Amy's wife on his matrimonial bed, and he catches them red-handed when he had unexpectedly returned home. He had taken away the man's uniform and gun and handed it to his neighbor. After so much supplication from the chef, the post, and assurances that compensation will be paid for the invasion of his property, he lets him go. When he goes to get the compensation, when he is convoked, he is arrested, hastily judged, and sent to prison for violence against an armed officer, highlighting the corrupt nature of the justice system. A yippie is the village playboy and Casanova who exploits Nkafu, his girlfriend, financially to settle the debts of Ejebu, who is heavily in debt, and another of his lovers. Nkafu had used her own money to give him so that he can come and pay her bride price. But he uses her money to pay Ejebu's debts and runs away with the rest to Nigeria, leaving the two girls stranded. When Kafu's parents learn about what she had done, they are so ashamed of their daughter's behavior, because traditionally a woman does not pay her bride price. In the swamp dwellers, traders come from the cities to buy crocodile skins, and they come with a lot of money. They use their money to seduce women in the village who fall for them, and they have romantic relationships. Makuri mentions that despite the temptation of money, Alu had remained faithful to him. This situation highlights materialism, promiscuity, and infidelity. Next, Igwezu goes to the city with Desala after their marriage, and she gets entangled in a love web with Awochike, who is rich and a timber merchant. He entices her with money, and she leaves her husband, leaving Igwezu not only frustrated because he has lost everything, money, his manhood, and he returns home very miserable. In unanswered cries, Makalai has been a promiscuous lady as she had started sleeping with men at her tender age. When she leaves the village to go to Freetown to continue her education, she falls in love with Abdul Rahman. Later on, she falls in love with Ade, and she becomes pregnant with Olabisi. When Ade leaves her, she starts dating Dawuda, to whom she is presently married and pregnant. Her life clearly questions the rationale of female circumcision if Bondo women still remain as promiscuous as Makalai. After the fight with the Diba Sowe's daughters, Makalai realizes that Olabisi is no longer a virgin and wants her to be circumcised. It turns out that Olabisi has been sleeping with Eddie Cole, and Eddie Cole has disclosed this information to lawyer Sise, who uses it in court to prove the fact that Olabisi cannot control her sexual urges or desires. And for that reason, she needs to be circumcised. She apologizes to her father and cuts off her relationship with Idiko. Oya is not only angry with Ade for his non-commitment to their relationship, but also because of his supposed infidelity. She accuses him of sleeping around with numerous women, and particularly with Yamide, whom Ade claims to be just a friend. She threatens to quit their relationship for good. But Ade proposes. And later on, they get married, making Oya to be the happiest woman in the world, highlighting love. Thank you, and share our videos with other students you know. Thank you.